वेलकम सर, वेलकम टू द वेबिनार।
उनको शायद वॉइस अभी तक नहीं पहुंचा है आपका।
ओके ओके ओके। हेलो सर, हेलो अमित सर।
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nice to see you on this platform.
Same here, ma'am.
This pandemic has taught us many things. Actually,
Actually,
So
it has good
yeah.
it has
So
good
let
part
us.
and bad part both. Yeah.
Taha sir, are the participants there? So can we start?
Ma'am,
Or should we wait for
we
some
can
time?
wait for 5 minutes.
Okay, done. Okay. Amit sir, please bear with us to wait for another 5 minutes for the participants to be there.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Welcome. Taha sir, you may indicate when we need to start, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. This is the participants.
नहीं गया है, आवाज नहीं दे रहा है क्या? हाँ नहीं
मैं करूँगी अभी चाहिए।
Good afternoon, Amit sir.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Taha sir, shall we start?
Yes, ma'am, we can start now.
Okay. Good afternoon, one and all present in this webinar today. It's a part of the webinar series which College of Architecture SVIT Vasad has been conducting during this pandemic to update and upgrade the students and the architectural fraternity. Let me start our today's sixth webinar. Starting your own architectural firm is a challenge. Structuring it to survive is a formidable task. Architects contemplating starting their own professional practice, as well as those who have created their firms recently, need to know the practical, professional, ethical, legal, and insurance issues that a new firm faces. Maybe you've just finished your architecture school. You are ready to brave the real world. Maybe you are tired of working for other companies, or maybe you have just an entrepreneur streak. Whatever the reason, you are thinking it's time you start your own practice. This session today, through a webinar arranged by College of Architecture SVIT Vasad, where a young and energetic speaker, architect Amit Boghani, is going to deliver would be an engaging session for young architects regarding the nuances of architectural practice, learning for the beginners. It will be really helpful for the young architects. Let me introduce architect Amit Boghani to you today. He is a pass out from Maharaja Sayajirao University and he is an associate architect at the Uneven, a renowned architectural firm at Vadodara. He is also a faculty at the Center for Lifelong Learning at MS University, Vadodara. I invite him today to share his experience with the students, with the young architects and enterprising architects today. I shall now request architect Professor Taha Padrawala to run a small video of our college, and then Amit sir, the floor is yours.
Hello, Amit sir.
Yes. Hello.
I have transferred the sharing rights with you. Now you can share your screen.
Okay, fine. Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, sir,
Hello.
perfectly. You are audible, sir. Perfectly.
Okay. Yeah. Now, good afternoon, one and all present here. Like, we should engage e-learning. I feel like this pandemic has taught us a lot of things. Basically, this is energy conserving and like it is helping in lots of way. Now, I would like to thank for such. Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, because my video is cracking. I don't know why. Okay. I would like to thank Pallavi ma'am for the introduction. I would like to thank Shailesh Nair sir for giving me an opportunity to give a presentation here. Now, I'll share my screen. Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, I hope everyone is doing well in this pandemic time and learning through these webinars. Now, this is a basic introduction of my introduction page for myself, which already Pallavi ma'am has introduced. Most of you would have visited my college, that is Department of Architecture, just for a visual. Then this is my office, Uneven, where I have been working since 12 years, and like I'm working over there as a senior associate architect and presently handling many of the architectural projects over there. Then this is the image of the Center for Lifelong Learning, where I go and teach interior designing last 6 years. Now I'll start with just showing few of the images which I have worked on with Uneven. This is one of the project in Aurangabad, which is named 50 Greens and 108 Greens. This is a fabricated gate designed for them. This is 50 Greens, the bungalows designed over there. This is another project over there, 40 Greens. This is another project, 36 Greens. That was 36 Greens. This is 72 Greens. This is a farmhouse which is made totally into fabrication. You'll be able to see the fabricated ribs and the skeleton structure in the next slide. Then this is the next project, 108 Greens. This is another project in Aurangabad. This is one of, I guess video is lacking. This is one of the clubhouse designed in Vagodia, a golf club. This image shows another project which is recently launched in Sivasi, that is Sherwood Zoppelent. This is specifically having a swimming pool and a clubhouse area cut into the building right itself, where my mouse pointer is moving. Then this is another project. One more. This is one of the project which is in Bhaili. It is named Sky 7 Emperor. This is one of the project Old Bazaar Road, that is Pancham Icon, Pancham High Street and Icon. Then this is Pancham Plus, again on Old Padra Road. And this is the Emerald Building near Chakli Circle. This is one of the residences in Sama. This is a project in Vidyanagar. This is hello. This is one of the project, residential project. another scheme which is called Lake Woods. It is facing a lake. Another residence. This is one of the favorite projects of our office. Hello. You can see this image. This is Cloud 9. It is in Sevas. Sorry, it's in Kalali. And this is one of the most favorite. This is a image showing its work progress. Now, we'll start with the topic of discussion today. That is nuances of architectural practice, learnings for beginners. Before starting with the main topic, we'll start by defining an architect. What is like, who is an architect? What does Google say about it? Architect is a person who is qualified enough to design new buildings, spaces, and make certain that they are built correctly and should be habitable for its users. So based on that definition, and also what I believe is that architecture is putting life into lines. Hello, sir. Hello.
You are audible.
Uh, Video is lagging. It's showing there is low bandwidth or something.
I guess your PC has a connection issue.
Okay, so what should I do? Like, should I continue? You are able to hear correctly?
Yes, yeah, your voice is coming correctly, but the slide is slightly delayed.
Okay, the video is delayed, right?
Yes,
Okay. So should I close some video or something, anything, or should I continue?
you can continue, sir. No problem.
Okay, fine. So, architect is a person who is who is supposed to design and who is qualified to design to new buildings and spaces, right? So, what exactly he does, a client's requirement he'll put up in drawings and make it alive. Hence, I believe that architecture is putting life into lines. All right. Now, we'll start with basic qualities which an architect should have. So, initially, architect should be a designer. He should have a creative approach. Like any kind of problem, any kind of design problem which is he is given, he should have a creative approach to it, and it should be he should have it in a designer form solution. Then second quality which he should have is he should be a good manager. He should be having a systematic management skills. Means any kind of project which he is dealing, he must be knowing that what at what time what he has to manage, what time which is priority and which is not. Like according to the priority, he should give the solutions and he should give the required drawings and everything. Then next is he should be mathematical, like precise in calculations. This is like he should be mathematical in the sense every design which we do has to be mathematical. Like there should be proper calculations for everything. When you design a thing, design a building or design a space, there should be specific dimensions, specific way of approach, and it should be mathematical. And even mathematical in the sense like if a builder is your client, so you'll have to design and calculate the FSIs, the areas, and everything in such a manner that it is beneficial for him as well as beneficial for you. Next is you should be innovative in or innovative. That is, you should have original solutions. Means innovative in the sense there should be he can make one regular kind of window, or he can make a window which is innovative, which is maybe a circular, which is maybe uh, in some other shape. It is opening. It is not opening in a simple manner. It is opening in a different manner, which is innovative. Then next is he should be modern. Like he should be up to date about the trends. Like he should be knowing about every materials which are coming up in the market. He should be aware of things, what is going on around, and he should implement all those technologies and everything in his design. Next is traditional. Being innovative, being modern, but he should be traditional as well. He should respect cultural values like religion and Vastu. Vastu nowadays is a prime requirement for all the designs which is coming. All the clients want their designs to be Vastu, according to Vastu. And there are, if it is a Hindu religion, then their design specifications is a little bit different than the design specifications from a Muslim family or a Christian family or somebody else. Now, next is you should be sensitive. Sensitive is like he should take climate in consideration, and the designs should be nature friendly. Hello. Yeah. He should be sensitive, that is, he should consider climate and the nature while design. Then, next is he should be a bol bachan, good communication skills. If you are not a bol bachan, if you are not able to explain or convey what you have designed to the clients or to the society, then it won't be acceptable. There will be competition, there will be many design options, everything. Like, but if you think that your design is the best, then you are supposed to communicate in a good manner and explain it well so that your design gets selected. Then lastly is human psychology. Architects should understand human psychology in a very good manner. Like if you don't understand human psychology, you won't be able to. Hello, hello. If you don't understand human psychology, then you won't be able to give proper design solutions to your clients. Like, what does human psychology mean? Like, for example, whom you should show diamonds and whom you should show gold or whom you should show silver. You should understand that very well in a manner like when you do meeting with your clients, you should understand all these things. Like for example, in architectural point of view, take a simple example. Nowadays, there is a trend where the designing is happening in a way that living room, dining room, kitchen, all are connected. But it is not the same requirement for all the clients. Like there are few clients which won't like these kind of setup. They will need a kitchen which is closed and which is having a private. It is a private zone. It is not visible to all of the guests who are sitting in the living room. So while discussing and while showing your designs to the clients, you will have to read their minds and you will have to understand the human psychology, that what are they liking in your design, what are they not liking in your design. From that you will have to catch up, and then while the doing the next meeting you will have to improve on that. All right, so all these are the qualities which an architect should have in them to be uh, a good architect or well-known architect or a successful architect. All right. Now next is I'll take a few points to especially for the students who are will be going for office training. Now, criteria for office training selection is first is that what should be your first criteria? The first criteria is person whom you follow, as in if you follow specific architect, for example, if you like architect Hafiz contractor, then you decide in your mind that I want to do my training in under Hafiz contractor in his office. Then this is one of the way when you select office training selection. Second is city where you plan your future. That is when normally what happens that there are students who select their office training select their office training. Hello. Now there are few students who select their office training in such a way that they are bored of their college space, the city where they are living, and they want to go outside and just live some different life. Okay, that is one of the approach, but that should not be the approach, because what happens is in office training is a, a training session in which you will be learning of how to be in office, how to work in office, what kind of works are done, and how the system is to be followed. What happens that the system of working in Ahmedabad is different, system of working in Baroda is different, system of working in Bombay is different. If I plan my future to stay in Baroda and work and get settled over here, and if I am doing my office training in some different city, that is not a right choice. So you should try and set a city in such a manner that uh, it is based on the future. Hello. Okay. Uh, then next is specific working styles you admire. Like this is again one of these reason where based on which you can choose your office training. For example, if you like vernacular architecture, if you like so, a modern architecture, you should go research and select a firm in such a manner that it you go in such an office where that particular style of working is happening. Now, imagine that all students here right now have completed the graduation in BR. So now all of you are an architect. Okay. So congratulations to all. What next? After you have done your graduation, after you have the degree BR, what exactly, what all options do you have to do? First and foremost option each and every one will think is about starting their own office, starting their own professional practice. So is it correct to do in that manner? Like is it advisable to do just be pass out and just go and open your office and start your practice? Advice is that you should not take this step unless you have enough experience in field. Means uh, if I'm talking about myself, when I passed in 2008 from the college, after coming out of the college, I was not I had no clue what to do next. I started office, I joined uneven, but later on, everything at every step, I was like learning. The real learning process starts after the graduation, like how to be in the field and how to work in the field, like what kind of projects are coming in, what kind of work you have to supposed to do, what kind of how you have to work, and what kind of drawings you have to make, everything with the real deadlines. It's not that a deadline which can be postponed, or it's not a kind of project which is only going to be on paper, it is going to be alive. and in that case you will have to uh, learn at every stages. Like even today I keep learning. So the topic, that is nuances of architectural practice, means there is a subtle difference between the architectural practice done in school and in field. The main difference, there is a difference between architectural practice. Architectural practice is the same. You have to design a building. Okay, there will be requirements as there were brief given to you in colleges. The same way you will get a brief kind of brief introduction from your clients, and you will have to um, design the buildings accordingly. Okay, but what is the difference between that is, see, this is which color you can see over here. It is a it is a lime lemon color. This is also a lemon color. Both the colors together, and now you will see a mild difference. The 19-20 का फर्क जो बोलते हैं कि 19-20 का फर्क, that 19-20 का फर्क, 90% of freshers will need at least 3 years of time to understand this difference. That is nuances. So, what exactly these 3 years will give you is that 3 years will make you understand that what exactly and how exactly you are supposed to work. Now, we'll but still, just in case, if you want, if somebody is very sure about that, I want to start my office after I am graduated, then how to uh, start it off is like we'll discuss the progressive workflow of an architect's office later on at the late last of the this presentation. But let's first discuss other options available after BArch. What are the other options? You will opt for masters. Okay, so what are the different fields of masters and what you can do after doing those specializations? Even that I would advise that you should opt for masters only after at least 1 or 2 years of experience in field, due to which you will get to know the interest which you are building. Like you have interest in landscape, or you have interest in interiors, or you have interest in housing designs, or have interest in something else. Okay, so you should work for at least 1 or 2 years and then decide to opt for masters. First option is masters in architecture. Then second option is those people who have a tendency, or they are having liking towards making housing designs. Maybe it is a low cost housing or high cost housing, but high rise buildings or low rise buildings. They can do specialization in housing, that is masters in housing. Then masters in architectural history and theory. Those who have interest in theory or theory subjects, that is history, and to know about what had happened at that time and how the architecture had evolved, those people can opt for architecture, masters in architectural history and theory, and later on they can work as an architectural historians. Next is Masters in Conservation and Restoration, Notre Dame in Paris. All of you must be aware of the recent fire which happened last year. Can you, hello? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, sorry. Hello. Okay, so everybody must be knowing about the fire which happened in the Notre Dame. Like So after that, there were many proposals given for the restoration work. Like this is one of the option which was given for restoration. So those who have like who are having liking towards these kind of projects, that is like you don't demolish the entire the half built project or a ruined project, and then you restore it in such a manner that it is again a architectural monument. So those can people can opt for masters in conservation and restoration. Then students who are having liking towards landscaping, because landscape is a very important part of each and every design. Any design, or this building which I am showing right now, this space which I am showing right now, if this was just a space, it would not look so interesting as it is looking right now. And this is looking right now interesting just because of the landscape which has happened over here. You need to know and you have to add on life in these structures. Like architectural structures alone will look very boring until you add landscape to it. That is, you add greenery and you add hardscapes, you add different materials, textures, lighting effects. You, in short, you have to add a life to the building, and that will happen through landscape design. Then those of who are having interest in vernacular architecture should go for that. Example for vernacular architecture is Auroville. Auroville, each and every students must be knowing about it, and some few of them might have also attended few workshops over there. Over here, what is the main criteria is that you have to use natural materials which are surrounding you. Like you use all the natural and the easily available materials which are local, that is regional materials, and build your structures, which is eco-friendly. Next is masters in building energy performance. Now these days, uh, there are many buildings. In fact, 90% of buildings are with glazing, a lot of glazing. So there are glazing and different materials. So people who are sensitive towards building energy performances, you should uh, do your masters in building energy performance, and after that you can choose uh, uh, choose companies in which there are different building materials made. For example, glass, different cladding materials, different kind of concretes, different kind of bricks, and they are designing those building materials in such a manner that the effect of those buildings in the energy performance of the building is good. So making green buildings, these kind of green buildings, like it is not the color, but it is about the green performance. It is building the energy efficiency of these buildings are very good. So you should opt for these kind of this masters. Later on, another option is masters in urban planning. After doing masters in urban planning, you can uh, you can work in government firms as town planners, city planners, and huge big scale of projects in which urban level of planning is required. Next is masters in construction engineering and project management. In this subject, you will learn how to manage a project. There are big scale projects in which there are like uh, all mixed use projects in which there are uh, residential, commercial, there is a hotel building, office building, there are multiplexes and everything. Like the construction technology also is different. In The construction technology is also different. So managing those kind of projects is not a simple job. Managing those kind of projects with meeting the deadlines which have been planned earlier, it is very important, because what happens that for the builder, it is like, if you miss the deadline, he's losing a lakhs of rupees. So he is more interested in person who can manage these kind of projects very efficient. So what exactly will happen that in this kind of project, you will be the project manager of the entire project, and you will assign work to each and every people. Like you, for example, the construction of this portion should be done. Construction of that portion should be done. And giving bills, giving money to the vendors, giving money to the people who are working on the site, everything should be managed under that particular person. So this course will help you doing that project management. And most probably this project management is going to be very much required in the future projects which are coming up in a very big scales. Now, next field is that masters in structural design. Masters in structural design is also one of the option which architects should prefer, because what exactly happens is, like, while working in field, we will design, as an architect we will design something, and then uh, we will plan it out, we'll make the 3D about it, everything is done. But when those drawings are given to structural engineers for the structure design, at times they become so much rigid about their structure design that this column has to be here, this beam has to be here, and the beam depth, beam thicknesses, everything should be so and so, which might ruin the architectural aesthetics. So in that case, if an architect is doing masters in structural design, then he can give a better solution for all these structures than a civil engineer who is becoming a structural engineer. So this is the one of the my most favorite master's course which I would like to opt for. Next is masters in interior design. Masters in interior designing, in this case, everyone knows, like, you will work as an interior designer. Next, masters in environmental architecture. Here again, you have to take care of environment while designing. You will have to try and add on green spaces, and basically those who are environment friendly, those who are having a thought that the designs should be environment friendly, should opt for these kind of this master's course. Next is masters in sustainable architecture. Sustainable architecture, it is again similar. Like, in this, you have to take care that you use all kind of renewable energy sources for running your building. That is, and you use minimum non-renewable resources for running your building. You should use solar energy, you should use rainwater harvesting, you should use wind energies, you should design your buildings in such a manner that there is natural cooling happening in your building. So your building should be self-sustainable. That is the whole idea. So people who are having these kind of design approaches in your designs should opt for sustainable architecture. Then next option is masters in digital architecture. Digital architecture, again, you will go and learn lot of softwares in which you will be you'll be able to design, or you'll be able to make your buildings in such a manner that they are digitally sound in such a manner that you will be able to make people visualize them better. That is, you will be able to use technologies in such a manner that virtual 3D visualization would be possible in that case. Also, you'll be learning softwares by which you can become a BIM expert, building information modeling. BIM expert is also very important in huge scale buildings. For example, if you are making an airport, or if you are making a huge mall, a shopping complex, or anything, in this BIM expert, the work he has to do is that he has to uh, put in each and every information about everything, that is all these small pipes and all these structural members, all plans, glass, everything which is going to happen or which is going to be in the building, you have to incorporate them in the building model. So, and these building models and this softwares will give you information, each and every information, like procuring, if you are planning to procure uh, rainwater pipes, or if you are planning to procure the trusses, then there will be a detailed list given to you, detailed list generated from these softwares, that you must order these many number of this item. Then if you want pipes, then they will give you information that you should order this running length of pipe, or you should order, you will, if if you are planning to procure all the steel which is to be incorporated RCC, then the software will give you calculation about the steel which is going to be used in this model, this building construction. So, for giving such detailed information about the building, you need to do digital architecture. Also, next, which you can do from digital architecture, is that game designer. You can be a game designer as well. Like making a game is also with the help of these digital softwares, and in which also these kind of architectural buildings and everything should be made. Next option is masters in graphic designing. So in this again, you will be learning a lot of softwares, and students which are having very much graphical approach in your design. That is, if uh, your designs are very graphical and you have inclination towards graphic designing, then you should opt for this masters, and you can further on work as graphic designers, or you can design brochures, posters, and everything for the field. And not only architecture field, you will be having scope to work for different fields as well. Next is, you can do masters in National Institute of Design, that is NID. From there, you will be able to become a product designer. A product designer in a you'll be able to you'll be designing products, small products, be it be a small keyboard, a small mouse, a small headphones, computer screens, anything. Next field which is linked to that is like furniture designer. You'll be doing masters and specialization in specifically furniture design. So those who have inclination towards furniture designing and woodworks and exploring different materials on a smaller scale, then you can opt for furniture designing. Next option is, you can opt for masters in fine arts for people who are having artistic design approach, and whose who are having interest in maybe making sculptures. Hello. Yeah. So you can become sculptor, you can become painter after doing fine arts. Later on, there is another option is that people who are having good skills of photography or and those who have interest in photography should do a basic learning courses on photography, then start off with architectural photography. Even that is having a very good scope. Next option is people who think and who can think well, who can write well, and who can do good editing work, and they can opt for architectural journalism, because what happens is that architectural magazines these days are having like they require people who can write for the buildings, edit their content, and it is better that an architect do these kind of editing and writing stuff than other people, because no other writers, other people won't be able to express or use terminologies or the way architects can do for the architectural projects. Next option is masters in industrial design. Here you will be able to you will have to do the industrial designing, like specifically design the industries. Next option is masters in naval architecture. Here you will be designing ships, cruises, where the aesthetics will come in picture, like basic requirements of the naval, the ships and everything you will have to consider, and then how can you make it look better. That would be your scope. Next option is become doing masters in valuation and arbitration. Due to from that you'll be able to do become a property valuer, and you will be able to uh, work for government and private firms. Another other option is masters in filmmaking, from where you will be able to do set designing and become an art director as well. Like the set design, the during the filmmaking which we see shooting which is happening in a airplane, it is not exactly the airplane where they are doing the shooting. They create these kind of sets, and then in that they are doing the shootings. So this is also a very good option which students can opt for after BA. Another option is model making. People who are interested in making miniature models, those who are fond of making models, can do model making professionally. Another is people who have interest in drawings, drafting, so they can draft as built drawings, because this is also one of the very important factor, and one very important which is to be considered, that when an architect provide a drawing and the construction happens on site according to that drawing, there are few changes which happens on site. So later on, for projects such as hotels, such as hospitals and everything, like those kind of projects will require as built drawings for their because there will be emergency exits which they have to plan and everything. They should be knowing each and every corner of their building as the as it is there on the site. That is the as built drawing. Then people who are fond of just designing skins, that is the facade designers. They can also become designers. There will be students who would be very bad in planning. They won't be able to do any kind of planning, but they would be able to make very good elevations. That is the second skin. They can opt for facade design and they can become facade designer. Also, another option is that acoustic designer. People can opt for acoustic designing, for example, studios. Then they will be learning about how much sound is required for what sound, how much insulation is required, what kind of insulation is required. All those technicalities will help them being an acoustic designer, and then they can also do specialization in interiors for the acoustic places, for example, multiplexes, theaters, uh, banquet halls, etc. Another option is data analyst. Here, what will happen is that people will require a person to analyze all kind of datas. Means if a client is planning to make a project in some place, okay, he has a land but he does not know that what kind of project he should put over there, what project will be successful over there. Okay, so if in one area there are three multiplexes already, and if you have land and you are making another multiplex over there, then it is a wrong decision to make a multiplex again over there because it is not required. So data analyst job would be to analyze the data, that what kind of buildings are already present over there and what kind of uh, buildings are required over there. Based on that, they will give information that you should opt for, and you should make design or building in particular field. For example, you can make a hospital over here, or you should make a office building over here, or you should make a residential building over here. Then another option is that after BArc, if you think you have lots of funds with you, then you can directly start developer. In this case, you will be having the thought as an architect. You will be having a imaginative thought and a vision over there, a future vision, and then you will be giving better than a normal builder. And you can become a developer in such a manner that you design a project, or you get it designed and then uh, float it in the market for its selling. Later, you can also become contractor and take turnkey jobs. You can do you can hire all kind of people who is maybe a plumber or electrician, a painter, everyone, and you can handle the entire project with a turnkey job. Later, another option is that you can opt for travel. Uh, you can opt for a travel blogger or YouTuber. So the thing is that the you should travel at architectural spaces, architectural buildings, and then after traveling over there, you can make logs or you can make videos and upload it on YouTube. You also have an option to join National Building Code of the office which is making National Building Code of India, and you can help them out with making new rules, new laws. All of must be aware that we have to follow certain rules and certain bylaws while making a building. So these kind of uh, bylaws and everything is made in National Building Code and also at state level. At you can join them also. Later on, for all the bol bachchans, the people who can talk very well. Means, for example, you must be knowing of the phrase that normally our teachers and our seniors also tell us that our design should talk. We should talk less in the juries. Design should be such a manner that if your design is placed over there, the drawings, the models, the everything should talk on itself. You don't need to go over there and explain each and everything. If that is the case, then you are a very good designer. And if the other is the case that the design is not very good, but the way you present it, the way you show, the way you talk about it is very good about it. Uh, Makes the other people feel that your design is very good, even though it is not good. Then this kind of, they should opt for marketing basics, means masters for in marketing for architecture. In this case, what will happen that you will again get into field where talking is required, marketing is required. You can opt, you can do get jobs in uh, developer with developers where you will be promoting their products and talk about them and help them selling it. That is marketing. Now, so many options that you have after doing bachelor's. Okay. Now, select any of them. After gathering at least 10 years of experience, one should opt for imparting knowledge. This is optional. Like, you want to become a teacher, you want to become an academician or not, that is your choice. But you should opt for it at least after getting 10 years of experience in the field. Then only you'll be able to give justice to what you are doing. Now, coming back to option number one, that is progressive workflow of an architect's office. Now, what will happen? कि, समझो कि you have opened your office. Okay, the first very thought which each and every person will have: open your own office. So you are opening your own office and you are doing your own advertising, marketing, or you have friends, family, relatives who have promoted you, and now some client has come with you, okay, for a project. Now he will come with a land, and he will give you, he might give you an example, brief that I want to make this kind of building over here, or he might not give you a brief. He will come and ask you that, what should you think, like, what do you think, what should I make over here? If this is the question, then at that time you will require the data analyst job, data analysis, that what kind, or you will have to analyze the space, the plot where it is located, the buildings which are around it, and then think over it and decide कि यहाँ पे ये project रखेंगे तो it will work well, and that is where you will have to guide your client. So what will happen is that कि समझो, we'll take an example कि एक, there is a client which has come to you and he has decided already that I want to make a residence for myself over there. I want to live in that residence. Okay. So what will happen is that I'll I I'll explain the entire process in different stages. The first stage is planning or design process, planning stage. Okay. In this, what will happen is that the client will come, you will have first meeting with them, a brief discussion that these are my requirements. I want to make 4 BHK, this, that. I want to make a lavish building. I want big garden, this and that. They will give their requirements to you. Okay. So after that first meeting, what will happen is that you will, based on those discussions, you will make a plan. Okay. So you will design the house for him, design the basic site planning over there, and make a building and layout drawing. You will, based on that initial drawing, you will do area calculations for that. Area calculations is done. Okay. So later on, you will do another meeting with the client, and again discuss the design which you have done with them. Once the discussion is done, and once after maybe 2-3 meetings which happens to and fro, after that the design will be finalized. The design at the plan level will be finalized, and then the next step which you will have to do is passing coordination. That each and every design which is going to happen needs to be passed in the corporation. So one option is that you yourself become the passing architect, and you yourself do all the passing coordination in the corporation itself and make the drawings for them. Or there are different agencies, there are different passing architects available who do this job for you. So what will happen is that passing coordination, you'll make the design, you'll make the drawings and give it to passing architect and do the passing coordination. He will, at this moment, he will start his passing coordination in the corporation. So later stage would be that after the plans are freezed, second stage would be elevation, that is elevation and 3D design process. In this process, you will start making 3D models for the plan, and from that you will start making basic elevation options. After making basic elevation options, you will show all those options to the client, and again after 2-3 meetings you will be able to freeze and finalize one elevation, that is your final exterior view. Okay, so this is the second stage where your elevation is finalized. Next stage is drawings as per 3D, as per final 3D and final presentation drawings. Now, what does drawings as per final 3D mean? Basically, the first stage, the drawings were basic drawings. Basic drawings means a drawing in which there are no elevational effects. Means the plan is very basic with normal walls, normal windows, and everything. But after the 3D process has happened, there will be different elements. For example, if you are making a elevation with sloping roof, then sloping roof element you will be incorporating in the plans later on in the next stage. That is drawings as per final 3D. You will have to make plans as per 3D, elevations sections as per 3D, and uh, and then later on when these two set of drawings are ready, you will send those drawings to structural engineer for structure design, and at that time you will have to do the structure coordination with them. Okay, then once these are at this moment, what you have done is that you have finalized the plan, you have finalized the 3D, and you have sent the set of drawings to passing architect for passing coordination, and you have sent drawings to structure engineer for structure coordination. So now work is happening at three places: at architect's office, structure design's office, and passing architect's office. Okay, three works are happening simultaneously. Now, once this stage is reached, after that what happens that we will give a final presentation drawings to the client, like building and layout presentation and revised area calculation. Why revised area calculation? Because initially we did not put the elements such as sloping roofs or some different windows or anything else which we might have designed in the 3D level and not in the planning level. So once the drawings which are ready, which are as per 3D, for those drawings you will have to make a revised area calculation and provide them to the client, stating that your total construction which is going to happen is this much square feet, so and so square feet. And if the project is, we are discussing right now project which is an individual house where the client himself is going to live. But if the project is not a residence, and if it is a project in which the client is going to sell the project, for example, if he is putting a scheme of bungalows, and in that case what will happen that initially we had given different areas, and once after 3D we make uh, the drawings which are as per 3D, the area calculations will be different from the initial area calculations. There might be chances that the area has increased, or there might be chances that the area has decreased. So if the builder is selling his product based on the initial area calculation, he might be having loss at the end. So it is our responsibility to give the revised area calculation and revised building and layout presentation to the client after this stage. Then after that, what is the next stage is that we have given work to passing architect, structure design, and also revised calculations and revised presentation drawings to client. So client, if he is a builder, then he will start his marketing work and he'll start selling the product. But once these works are simultaneously going on, we have to start working, making working drawings. Now, what are working drawings? Working drawings, the name itself says that drawings based on which, from which we can start working on site. That is the execution work on site are called working drawings. So there are list of drawings which I'll read. First is checking, and first task which we have to do is that checking and incorporating structural details. What will happen that we had given basic drawings as per 3D to structural engineer. So structural engineer will give his input, that is the columns, beams and everything, the structural elements which are required and which are necessary. So they will send those drawings to us. We will study them. We will incorporate those drawings in our drawings and check whether those column placements are okay or not, whether beam placements are okay or not, the beam depths are okay or not. If there are corrections required, we'll do the structure coordination with them. Maybe it might happen for 2-3 times, and then later on we'll be able to freeze on the structure. Okay, so structure coordination happens at this level. Then while the initial level, at the initial level of time, septic tank, bore well, underground water tank, all these details should also be finalized on paper, because while making foundations, for example, you have designed a swimming pool which is adjacent to the building, which is like a swimming pool. Besides the swimming pool, there is a column. So while designing a footing, the foundation for the column which is adjacent to swimming pool, structural engineer will require details of the swimming pool. That is how deep the swimming pool is, because he will require that data so that he can take the foundation deeper than the foundation of the swimming pool. According, in the same way, it will happen with underground water tank, bore well, septic. He'll need those data for his structure design. Then swimming pool, water body, similar case. At this level, he'll also require. We will also have to give information and take into consideration rainwater harvesting, overall level drawing, because uh, from the very first we'll have to know the levels of the site, because and also incorporate from where the rainwater is going to come, where it is going to be collected, where it is supposed to go, all with respect to vastu. Like there will be vastu considerations as well, that rainwater harvesting should be done in particular corner. The entire slope of the site should be taken in particular corner. The water should be taken in that tank, and similar process. Then overall level drawing. Uh, also to be given, so that the construction work should be done. The If the site is not in a proper manner, if it is to be leveled, then it happens in the level drawing, as per the level drawings. Now then the next is center line drawing for columns and ground beams. The next step would be that once the columns are finalized, structure engineer sent us structure drawings, we checked them, we sent them again. We did the coordination work, and later on we have finalized that these columns are final. So from those columns, we'll have to give centerline drawing for columns, and then ground beams. Ground beams are the beams which are connecting the columns at the ground level. Okay. So for the structural stability. So that is the drawing which we'll make and give. Then final working drawings. After that stage, will be coming at the plinth level. Then from the plinth level, like the basic drawings as per 3D we had made, we'll incorporate all the structural details in them, and then give all the dimensions, required dimensions for execution, and make a final set of working drawings and issue that on the site. Then at the same level, at the same stage, we will also give details for staircase cabin, overhead water tank, and parapet walls. So the entire set of
Hello, Amit bhai, your voice is not coming.
is when a construction is happening.
Hello, Amit bhai, your voice is not coming.
You muted it.
Uh, just a moment. Hello.
Yes, now it's coming.
Now you can hear me?
Your video is gone.
Sir.
Yes, your video is coming. Okay, okay.
Now it's coming.
But your voice is very low, sir.
Just hello. Now,
No, it's very low.
uh, can I switch to this phone audio till we don't have other communication?
Okay, okay. You can try.
Yeah, I'll do that. Hello.
Okay.
You can hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Okay. So now we had reached at the stage where electrical drawings. So what happened at the construction stage? We had handed over working a client side, and he has started construction. So now when the construction work is going on at the slab level, must have studied that have to conceive provisions for the electric, that is, have to put certain points in the slab at the time of casting. So electrical drawings and also plumbing drawings. Plumbing drawings will happen while the construction is happening. At that time, certain places we have to.
Sir, your voice is very slow, sir. Amit, sir.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah, you need to speak little loudly, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah, this is
now
okay.
can you?
Yeah, this is okay. Okay.
Okay.
Or just increase the volume if you can.
Yeah. Hello. Now audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, this is okay. This is okay.
Okay. So, coming back to to the working drawing stage, what will, as we discussed, that while constructing, while casting an RCC slab, there will be certain conduits which needs to be placed. There will be certain light points which are required to be placed. So we'll give electrical drawings at slab, which is slab electrical drawing. Then second is elevation electrical drawing. Also, you must have noticed that these days the buildings are lit up in the elevation point of view. Like there are different light points on the elevation where you can put different kind of lights and lit up the building in different ways. So elevation electrical drawing is to be also provided at this level, so that what happens that in elevation all the conduits, the pipes are laid down before the plastering work happens. Then uh, after providing these two drawings, we have to do electrical coordination. That is, we'll have to communicate with the electrical consultant, or we have to communicate with the electrician who's working on the site, so that every points which we desire are on its exact locations in the elevations and in the plans. Because at times what will happen that there these days there are certain designs which happen in such a way that put slab in exports RCC. That is, we don't make false ceiling. We are going to make false ceiling. There is not a problem at all. There will be one electrical point slab in wires that point, and we can serve the false ceiling. But if we are opting for a exposed ceiling where there will be light points only in the slab, at that point we'll have to be specify we'll have to specify the exact locations where we want light, and also then second later on the about the plumbing drawings. We have to give overall plumbing detail, HVAC detail, drainage, rainwater pipe locations, swimming pool, water body details, plumbing coordination, and HVAC coordination. Plumbing drawings would not only be about the plumbing, but the bathrooms and all. You can also uh, club HVAC in this stage, because what will happen that once we have the exact HVAC drawing, HVAC drawing is what is heat ventilation drawing, air conditioning drawing. So in that you will be having locations of indoor units of air conditioner and outdoor units of air conditioner. And what is important in air conditioning? Important part is the drain point which we have to provide while air conditioning from the indoor units. And the second point is that the location of indoor unit and outdoor unit is also very important. If it is very far, then it will give less cooling, and if it is in a closer position, then it will give effective. Also, once we have the drawings, exact drawings, while casting beams or while casting slabs, then at times provide sleeves in, and we can at times also provide conditions in slab if the slab thickness is more. Pass the HVAC lines, the copper wire which is connecting the indoor unit and the outdoor unit. So it will make easier. It will not. It will. There won't be any requirement of needing punctures in, that is beam and slab at later on there. So by issuing plumbing drawings and electric drawings right after working drawings, be helping the client and for a smoother execution and loss, and there will be no breaking and stuff at the later on. Next is next after this that stage will be reaching a stage in which the overall construction of the building will be ready. Like there will columns casted, slabs casted, and there will be some kind of almost all masonry work will also be done. So basic building structure is ready. Now the next stage would be civil finishes and fabrication details. So in that case, you will have to provide door window schedules, overall fabrication details, that is grills, railing, MS wins, anything which is coming in a overall plaster, texture, color, cladding details, which which is again as per your 3D elevation, because while execution and while um, execution, client should be aware that he has to leave this wall as not as a rough plaster. He has to leave this wall as a smooth plaster, where uh, texture is going to come, where color is going to come, where cladding is going to come. He must be aware of all these. Then later on, stone frame details also is to be provided at this level. So what happens that stone framing playing and together the plaster work both will have to be go hand in hand and will have to happen together. Then kitchen and stored stone details. All these the stone details, the anything which is related to stone and cement, sand, anything which is going to be creating laying of stone or something, that should be in this stage. Then overall campus development and light points. That is, you will have to give, if you are making if you are designing a residence and it is having a house and it is having a bigger site, you will be definitely doing landscaping in the site. So for doing landscaping, you will have to add on light points as well. So at that very moment, you have to give locations of light points which you desire inside, so that at the time of landscaping you don't need to make damages in the wall plaster again by cutting and laying condition inside again. And later on, specific architectural detail, for example, if you have any specific detail, if you are making an arch, if you are making an exposed arch, making something else, anything which is architectural element, that detail is also supposed to be given at this stage. The next stage is so if in the later last stage which we completed at this level, be able to complete the being architectural, basic architectural and the finishes given till this stage. Then next stage will be interior finishes, that is staircase detail, flooring detail, bathroom details, wall details, final electrical details, that is as per fall ceiling, slab drawing, switchboard details. Initial switchboard details would be given, but this switchboard details as per in which in each and every detailed description at which switch is going to lit, which light and which fan, where you going to have this switch, where you have switch. Then next detail would be door window details. Door window details, that is in the exact specification. For example, if you are opting for aluminum, or if you are opting for UPVC, or you are opting for wooden windows, whatever the details you are planning, give final details stage. Then structural glazing detail. Structural glazing detail is again uh, something very important, because it is as per your where you should be knowing where to break the glasses. Now, if your facade is of, then as per your 3D, you have to break the glass, break the facade in three parts or four parts or five parts. That you have to make a detailed structural glazing drawing and provide at this level. Then later is the last would be basic primer and POP punning detail. Basic primer that in the once the plaster work is done in interiors, and at that time you have to give basic primer details के कहाँ पे प्राइमर लगने वाला है, कहाँ कहाँ पे कुछ और टेक्सचर have to give all those specifications. You will also have to give specifications for pure burning, like which walls are to be done in pure burning and which walls are not to be done. Because there will be certain walls in kitchen, for example, there will be tiles laid on the and not burning. So that way you give details for that. Later, next stage would be room-wise interior details. That is, for if you are taking a living room, then living details for furniture, paint, polish, wallpaper details, fabric, curtain details, artifact details. All these details should be given one stage, one go, for one. Because what will happen that designing one, you will able to uh, you will have to relate the furniture, the paint, polish, wallpaper, fabric which is used is matching wallpaper, not the artifacts which have kept uh, this room are matching with the wallpapers, fabrics, etc. You design the entire thing totality and give wise interior details for the entire house. Later, it would be the landscaping detail. Means till the before stage we have designed the building architecturally, we have completed, have given details for interior designing and also completed interior designing house. Uh, Now comes is for landscape design. Like in the landscape, you will have food drawings, light scale drawings, plantation drawings, terrace drawings, indoor plantation details, main gate, nameplate details. This is the last detail which required in this process. Like once you make this and hand it over to the client, you can say that you have designed entire project. Work is done from an architect's point of view. This list is the same thing, just that it is in full manner. Like it is everything together. Like just to make it, just to give an example and show how the payments should be at different stages. Like for example, if fees which is decided for the project is so and so X amount, that different of deciding, getting into detail about that is point right now. Just that if it is the amount X amount decided, architects should make a practice and should make it a habit of taking the such that 10% an amount should be taken at the initial level, that is and design stage. Once you have given basic plans and once the client has liked your plans and finalized it, final and we are working together at that task. Later, uh, 3D elevation stage gets complete. Ask for another. Then third stage, that is when you do the structural coordination, the drawings as final 3D and make final presentation drawing. At that time, you have to ask for another 10%. Working drawings another 10%. Plumbing drawings another 10%. Civil finishes 10%. Interior finishes 10%. Room wise details, which is a big job. For that, you can ask for 20%. And at the last, like once the landscaping details and everything done, like the all the designing part is completed an architect's point of view, architect's scope of work, then at that time you should ask for the last step. And in this manner, if this is followed, this system is followed, then there will be lesser chances of uh, facing a situation in which the client does not pay an architect, which is very, very important for a fresher architect who started his work in the Palai ma'am, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Hello, Amit sir.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it was a really nice presentation. I could visualize actually the building coming up till the last, and it was a very intense. And I think the students have really understood. The people who are sitting in the webinar, they have really understood that it's not just a small difference. Practice has its own seriousness, and how much we are able to convey while we are teaching in College of Architecture and other institutes. We are not actually listening to you. We are not able to, I'm not able to apprehend that are we able to transfer that much of seriousness to the students that teacher practices about all these things, right? So now I would just open the house if somebody wants to ask some questions with you. Taha sir. So if somebody puts a question in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and you can ask directly to sir.
Basically, this is like, this cannot be explained or this cannot be conveyed in this small session. Like all these discussions and everything which I had just talked about is a very long process.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I do understand. I do understand. So I would just ask the students that if they would like to ask you something.
I guess no doubts, ma'am.
Do we see something?
Hello.
Yeah, Taha sir, do we
Amit?
have some questions in the
Yes.
chat box?
No, ma'am. There is no question in chat box. I have a personal question for Amit bhai. Amit bhai, if I am trying to open my new firm, what kind of registration details, maybe the council registration, what kind of documentation which we are required to,
Taha
first
sir,
of all, hello?
just a moment. I'll just connect to Bluetooth.
Okay, okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I was asking if I'm a new professional and I want to start my new firm, what kind of documentation which we required as an architecture professional to start with our own firm?
So basically, if you are just planning to have a design firm, that is, you are planning to just do the designing job and not the passing work, which I had specified. If you don't want to get into passing formalities and all, then you can just start off with your design firm. Because recently there is some controversies and everything which is going on, that anybody can become an architect, and every, like, civil engineers. There's something going on, right? So you should have COA registration for the first thing, like Council of Architecture, and being a designer, like you can just start off with your designing thing, because at the end, when your work is speaking, like, nobody, client is not going to come and ask us whether we got the gold medal or not, how much marks did we get. It is just that your work should speak. If your work and your communication skills are good and you are able to convey your designs, then it is like good to go. You can just start off.
Okay.
Now I will request Professor Nair, if he's there, to just throw a light on this presentation and thank architect Amit Boghani to give his precious time for us, for our institute. Sir, you are there?
Pallav ma'am, also
Yeah.
inform the participants about the e-certificate which we talked.
Yeah. Once sir is done, then I'll be informing them.
Okay.
Nair sir is there? Okay.
I think he is not.
I think he's not there. So I'm really grateful to you, Architect Amit Boghani sir, a young, energetic speaker who has been, whose speech has been really very informative for the students today. The varied fields which you have focused on, upon, which could be the fields which the student can take over after their graduation, and also the sensitive which you have explained, all the drawings which need to be made for one project to be just built. I was really impressed by that. Thank you so much. And I really thank our principal, Professor Nair, Sailesh Nair, for giving us an opportunity to conduct this webinar. Our trustee, our chairman sir, Shri Bhaskar Bhai Patel, our trustee Nest, all being instrumental in motivating us at all level to help us conduct such sessions for the students. And for the students, I have, for the people who are attending this webinar, I have information to be shared with you all, that in the chat box you need to put on your names and your email IDs, on which we will be sending you the certificates for this session, for this webinar today. Thank you so much.
Amit bhai.
Yes, sir.
There were two questions. I have just missed them. I would like to read if you can able to answer them.
Yes, sir.
Sir, it was a very good presentation from Apurva Bhate. I have a query like to set up a own practice. How to build contacts?
Very good question. For that, you'll have to be social. You'll have to be very much social in the field. And from build contacts is like, in our field, what will happen is that you do any small job. If you have, you get a chance to make a toilet design for your relative, just take the opportunity and just do it. Once you give your best performance in making one simple toilet design, people will see that design and give you another job. Like you will get another residential design job. If you give your best over there, you will get another job from that job. In this way, you will get different projects. And the other thing is that you'll have to be again bol bachan. You'll have to market yourself. You have to sell your own ideas. So what is that you'll have to have a good communication skills, and design has to be the first priority. If the design is not good and it's just the bol bachan, it won't help. So you'll have to have good design skills. Just take the opportunities and just start off. Like you will do one, and from that you'll get another projects, and so on. It will just go on. Have I answered the question?
Yes, and I think there was another one also, Taha sir.
Yes, ma'am. One question is from Pranjali, a student. How one can decide the fees of the project?
This is a very tricky question, and answer is also very tricky. One, deciding a fees for the project is like different from office to office. The same job which is to be done, you can do it at 10,000 rupees, or you can just do it at 1 lakh rupees of design job. Like if you are going to a smaller firm, you can get it done in a smaller price, and if you are going to a very well-known firm, you'll have to pay more price, right? So what happens is, normally the firms decide fees in a way that if this is some particular project, uska project cost is this much. If X amount is the project cost. So in interiors, there are different manners. Like you charge 10%, you charge 15%, depending upon your office reputation and your experience level and how well known you are. On that, you will be charging, and what kind of service you provide. Even that is more important. That you can charge 10%, 12%. Initially, people can also work at 5%, 4%. Then, when you are working in architecture projects, that at that time you normally people say that 5% of the total project cost is the fee. But you at times you will also have to work in 1%, 2%. Depends on the scale of the project and how much effort you have to put in. You have to decide accordingly.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Welcome,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yeah. Taha sir, can we wind up the session now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. And Amit sir will really be in touch once this pandemic situation is over. And we would sincerely wish that you visit our institute.
Sure, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.